have believed that a mostly forgotten character from the latter years of Generation 1 could emerge as one of the most hated villains in Transformers comics today. Let's chart his rise, or is it fall, as we take a look at the basics on Getaway. As originally introduced in 1988, Getaway was a cool-headed Autobot escape artist, and was bonded to telecommunications engineer Rev, a small alien from the planet Nebulos who became his vehicle mode's engine. Getaway was a Power Master, which meant that his toy could only be converted to robot mode when Rev was transformed into engine mode and snapped into place, unlocking the figure's transformation. The story of how Getaway became a Power Master was told in the Marvel comic book, in which he was part of a group of Autobots who travelled to Nebulos, the advanced technology of which had earlier created the Headmasters and Target Masters, in hopes of using its resources to resurrect the deceased Optimus Prime. Unfortunately for Getaway and his comrades, since the Transformers' last visit to Nebulos, the native Nebulans had conceived a plan to prevent the alien robots from causing them any more trouble. They had poisoned every source of fuel on the planet so that it was toxic to Cybertronians. Getaway and the others soon found themselves left close to death by their inability to refuel, until a group of Nebulan scientists, struck by the Autobots' nobility, found a way to save them. The Nebulans biomechanically re-engineered their bodies to bond with the Autobots as Power Masters, functioning as biological power sources that provided their Transformer partners with the energy they needed to live. Now, Getaway didn't go on to become a major player in the comic after the Power Master's origin story or anything, but he did remain a part of its background cast right the way up to its final issue. And he and his fellow Power Masters did enjoy a few more spotlight adventures in the UK comic. Getaway himself was the star of the story Prime Bomb, in which he had to put his escapology skills to use to prevent a Decepticon assassination attempt on Optimus Prime. As a 1988 character, Getaway was released too late to appear in the animated series, which had come to an end in 1987. But he did appear in the Japanese exclusive sequel series Super God Master Force, in which he was renamed and totally reimagined to become Lightfoot. Rather than a Cybertronian Power Master bonded to a Nebulan, Lightfoot was a God Master, a human being who used Master Force technology to transform his body into an engine, connecting to and controlling a lifeless Transformer body. Born in Britain and raised in Canada, Lightfoot was the kind and humble heir to the automotive company British Motors, built by his father off the back of the success of his first car design. But what nobody, not even Lightfoot's father himself, knew was that the metal he had found and used to build that first prototype car was Cybertronian in origin. When Lightfoot turned 17, his father gifted the prototype to him, but after driving it for the first time, Lightfoot's dreams became plagued with visions of a strange robot. Soon after, when the Autobot Godmaster Jinrai appeared on television in an attempt to find more Godmasters like himself, an intrigued Lightfoot, inspired by his dreams, made contact with him. With Jinrai's help, Lightfoot discovered the car's true nature and became bonded to it as a Godmaster, enabling him to transform it into the robot form his dreams had prophesied. Lightfoot subsequently joined the Autobots, using his powers to manipulate water to battle the Decepticons. And that was about it for Getaway for nearly 20 years. His next moment of significance didn't come until 2008, when Hasbro created a new toy of him, a recolored version of the 2005 Transformers Cybertron hotshot figure. The toy was intended for the Transformers Universe toy line, but those plans changed, and the figure instead wound up being released as part of the live-action movie toy line, with the character, still an escapologist, making a few appearances in movie tie-in comic books as part of an Autobot team led by RC. Hasbro couldn't secure a trademark on the name Getaway this time, however, so this version of the character was renamed Breakaway. Now, this wasn't an original name. It had previously been used by an Autobot jet, a component of the combiner Nexus Prime, released by the Transformers Collectors Club in 2007. And it would go on to be inherited by another Autobot jet, who featured in the Revenge of the Fallen toy line. This Breakaway was designed for inclusion in the second live-action movie, but he didn't make the final cut, and instead put in a few appearances in some of the movie series tie-in video games and comics. Anyway, Getaway seemed destined to fade back into obscurity after that, until he made a surprise return in the pages of IDW Publishing's More Than Meets the Eye comic book in 2013. This roguish incarnation of the character, written with a New Zealand accent, was a member of Autobot Special Ops who joined the crew of the starship Lost Light after they rescued him from the deranged Autobot judge Tyrist. But Getaway's friendly, charming exterior hid a cruel and cunning mind. He quickly realized that the Lost Light's quest to find the legendary Knights of Cybertron would never succeed with the inept Rodimus in charge, and things got even worse when ex-Decepticon Megatron joined the ship as co-captain. Under the pretense of needing to get rid of Megatron, Getaway convinced nearly the entire crew to take his side as he prepared to stage a mutiny. But before taking that drastic step, he first tried a subtler plan that forever ensured his position as one of the comic's most loathed villains. Through emotional and romantic manipulation, he maneuvered the naive little crew member Tailgate into a compromising position, intending for Megatron to inadvertently kill him, thereby ensuring the former Decepticon leader would have to be removed from the ship. Fortunately, that predatory plan failed, so Getaway went through with his full-blown mutiny, exiling Megatron, Rodimus, and all those sympathetic to them, and taking command of the Lost Light himself. Inevitably, though, distrust of their new captain began to set in amongst the mutineers, and through the cracks, Getaway's true motives were revealed. Driven purely by his own monumental narcissism and delusions of grandeur, he desired to find the Knights of Cybertron so that they could make him a prime. Refusing to let anyone stand in the way of this self-appointed destiny, he began killing those who opposed him and reprogramming the rest of the crew's minds to prevent them from turning on him. Getaway's standout role in the IDW comics inspired his inclusion in the Titans Return toy line in 2016, although the new figure did still have to use the Breakaway name. It replaced Rev the Power Master engine with Throttle the Titan Master, who boosts Getaway's speed when he becomes his head, which is directly based on his IDW character design. Don't expect to see Throttle in the comics though, because wherever Getaway's journey into villainy takes him, it's not likely to win him any new friends. With his goal in sight but enemies closing in all around him, we'll just have to wait and see if he can get away from the fate his actions have ensured he really deserves. And those are the basics on Getaway, a comparatively more obscure choice for an episode I hope illustrates the variety the basics can and will have as we head into 2018. Thanks for supporting the series so far this year, and Happy New Year!